What's life looking like for Minister Bheki Cele, who won't be going back to the National Assembly? Is it many days of rest, perhaps?
Well, when I came out of my mother's womb, I was never a minister. It's me, Bheki Cele. When I grew up, I never thought I would be a minister one day, when I do other things. And what's wrong going back as Bheki Cele and just being ordinary South Africans and see other people doing work? Once there is a start, there is an end.
But what do you make of your legacy if you have to reflect on your tenure as a minister, taking into consideration the rampant crime in this country?
Well, I did not start in the police as a minister. I started as a national commissioner. You go and look at your record there. So I left. As I speak now, we're dealing with the capabilities that have been taken out of the South African police. We are employing more police. We're putting more police there on the ground. As you see, the training, as I explained, we're putting such things. We're unlocking things that have been locked and all this kind of thing. We believe that this organization, whoever takes over it, will find a better organization and then we'll go forward.
Well, the impact of the elections are starting to be felt. That is outgoing Minister Bheki Cele responding to questions with regards to that he is not going to be the police minister anymore. But unfortunately for us, this means that questions that we had are not going to be answered or resolved. For example, in the Mzansi trial, I think it was Buthelezi. Yeah, Buthelezi on the stand said they don't get the notebooks anymore because of the cuts in the police budget. There's also the AKA case, AKA and Tivelo case, that Bheki Cele and his team were quite instrumental in getting the 5+2 accused arrested. And then there is also the Nandipa and Thabo Bester return from Tanzania. But this is Bheki Cele's sign-out speech. What are your thoughts on it? He speaks about his mother's womb. And he starts by telling us about that. I need to take a minute. He literally said when he left his mother's womb, he was not born a minister. I think he could have addressed his farewell speech a little bit differently. Is that a sense of disappointment on his part? Although he is returning to being a civilian as an outgoing police minister, it does not change the fact that he was the police minister. And is crime any better before or after his tenure? That is the question at hand. For example, now the Mzansi trial still hasn't been solved, although that is no longer in the police services. Hand, this is now in the justice system hand. The police still have an integral part in justice for Mzansi. When we look at the AKA case, it's just started, so it's literally at the beginning. We don't know what the investigations look like, but there's still a lot of questions in the air. For example, the two brothers, in Eswatini, they still haven't returned back. So what does it feel? This is a question I would have asked him. What are some of the things he would have loved to have achieved before the end of his tenure? I think that would have been a fair question for him. What would he have loved to have achieved? I mean, the votes are the votes. It is what it is. But what would he have loved to have achieved? I mean, he can't be saying when he left his mother's womb, he wasn't a minister. Yes, you were not. You were a baby. But becoming a police minister is an accomplishment, which I am sure he celebrated, because if it wasn't, he wouldn't have accepted that appointment. There's also Anele Tembe as well. And I'm just listing some of the cases that we have reported here on this channel. There's also Jocelyn Smith. That is also still ongoing in court, and she is still missing. So, Mzansi, yes, what are some of the cases that you have been following? Are you happy with this exit of Bheki Cele? What are some of the things you would have loved for him to have been held accountable for before the end of his tenure? Another question I would have asked him is, what is he happy about that he completed in his tenure? What are some of the highlights of his career as a minister? What exactly would he share if he was asked that question? I'm truly not interested in his mother's womb. Let's be honest. That is none of my concern. I'm just so disappointed with that statement. Or maybe it was an attempt at humor, dark satire. I don't know. I don't know what that was. But yeah, that was quite unfortunate. I love how the reporter asked the questions. I love how he started off by saying, does this look like a lot of restful days for you? And he goes, no, my mother's womb. Wait, how did we get here? And I love how the reporter was able to continue. I would have just burst out laughing. I would have burst out laughing. I guess it's a lot. But South Africa is a movie. 1 minute you think, okay, we're done, things are going to improve. No, you get more content to talk about. Literally. We can't make this stuff up even if we wanted to.
What's life looking like for Minister Bheki Cele, who won't be going back to the National Assembly? Is it many days of rest, perhaps?
Well, when I came out of my mother's womb, I was never a minister.
How would you have reacted if you had been the reporter and he said, well, when I came out of my mother's womb, I was never a police minister. And he goes back to say, I was born.
It's me, Bheki Cele. When I grew up, I never thought I'd be a minister one day. When I do other things. And what's wrong with going back as Bheki Cele and just being ordinary South Africans and see other people doing work? What?
I guess that's a fair statement. He is entitled as well to his own opinion. And he says, what is wrong with going back to being a civilian and watching other people work? Watching other people correct the work that you did, undo the work that you did, put different policies in place that actually prevent crime, make this a safer country, put those who belong behind bars. I don't know. The list is endless and endless and endless. Make it feel safe for people to want to report crimes at the police station, because it all starts at the police station. It doesn't start at the magistrate court. It doesn't start in the high court. It starts with the police. And if the police are not fulfilling their end of the bargain, just simply writing out their SAP 13s or putting evidence in the right evidence bags, how about arresting the right accused, carrying out the investigations properly? I mean, there's a lot. I think that there's a lot of injustices that we see, especially with Ubongani Ntanzi. If we go with his claims, right? If we go with what he claims, that he didn't write that confession. He was forced to write that confession. He didn't do it out of his free will. Just think about it. And this is just cases that are in our eyes. What about cases that we don't see that are happening on a daily basis? I see it in my comment section sometimes. Some people come and type out the stories of what's happening in their families or what happened to them. One comment I believe was the guy himself actually saying, yeah, this happened to me. So yeah, it is what it is. It is really, really devastating. Really, really devastating. Will there be a return to, I don't know, will there be an improvement in the South African police services with a new police minister? Let me know in the comment section down below. Who are your predictions? Who's going to get the new role? But yeah, let me know in the comment section down below. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. We absolutely love it when you do. You're part of our VIP gang. So make sure you drop a comment so I know you are here. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you where? I'll catch you on the next upload.